Tea. Just the hint of the stuff can send me into a monotasker's panic, simply because of the number of things that have to be done to make the stuff properly.
Tea isn't just a warm brown, often badly made drink that stains the cup and makes you wish that the sun was above the yardarm, let alone not even above the horizon. It's a ritual, it's important, it's a thing of empire, a thing of all that is great and fine about the world. Tea was invented in China in 2733 BC, that's before coffee, by the Emperor Sheng Nun, who was sitting down to his hot water break, as was his wont, when suddenly he realised that it wasn't his wont. Hot water break? Why would you want?
After a hard morning's emperoring and keeping his pigtails out of his early morning rice pudding, Sheng Nun had nothing to look forward to. But the winds of change were upon him and the hot beverage drinking universe, ushering in the era of the teapot, the tea lady and British hegemony over the Western world. With one serendipitous gust of wind, some old camellia leaves from behind the shed, where Sheng Nun kept last year's kites, blew up into the air and fluttered down into his much despised cup of hot water. Sheng Nun squinted, even more than he usually did, into what was now not just a cup of hot water. He sniffed, as up from the cup rose the aroma of what we now know as tea. He said, in a slightly Chinese accent, I might have a second cup of this. From there it all got so much more complicated, and hence my panic. So much tea to drink and so little time to make it. To warm the pot, get the cosy off the hat rack, the tea strainer from the compost and arrange the cups and saucers.
Heavens, we're not just drinking coffee, the drink of the stimulant-deprived conformist, we're partaking in the supping of the social glue and fuel of empire, and all must be shipshape and Bristol fashion. Are the cups warm? Is the teapot warm? Is the teapot happy or a little down at the spout after being ticked off by a politically correct teaspoon for calling the kettle black?
Where's the sugar, and are the little brown lumps in it, or the odd cornflake buried like a crashed airliner in the corner of the bowl? And who has sugar anyway in these days of dieting and slimming and the desire to attain the sexual allure of a bulimic stick insect?
All these things worry me as I prepare to make a pot of tea. Maybe a strategic withdrawal is required to a tea bag and some long-life homosaturated milk made by free-range cows that have their own nesting boxes and spend the winter in Bali. But prepare I do, burning my hand in the steam from the kettle with the trendy quarter-inch spout, lurching from stove to counter to teapot to temporary insanity. And on it goes, waiting and watching and remembering and wondering who wants how much and where's the eyedropper for those 2 molecules of milk my partner requires and says she can still taste. And for mum's tea that has to be so weak I use the other end of the tea bag to get it right. And on it goes, the ritual, the horror of it all. And now I understand why the Americans put a man on the moon before we did. They drink coffee and they had more time. They simply had more time.
I just can't do it anymore. All the measuring, the warming, the pouring, the paraphernalia. My tea's cold.